All right, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial on Freight Train that I posted the other day. It's a little tune written by Elizabeth Cotten. You can read about how she wrote it and her background. She's got a real interesting story. Wonderful player and composer and guitarist. This is a real popular finger-picking tune for a lot of good reasons. It's simple, but it sounds great and a great way to learn. I added a little intro at the beginning that's not really part of the main composition, but it's just a little thing I like to play before it. So let me show you the intro that I do, then I'll show you the main part of Freight Train. The chords are C, E seventh, that E seventh, A minor, and then this F that I play, then of course C, G, and C. Okay. So just E, A minor, F, C, G, C. Now let me pick out the notes here. You can just start real simple, just a high A. Now I'm hitting that seventh on that E. That's the third fret of the second string. Notice pinch, pinch. So you're not really syncopating. So that's one of the nice things I like to do is contrast not syncopated with syncopated. I think in the version that I posted the other day, I syncopate both of them, but it's cool to do one straight and one syncopated. Let me show you what I mean. Anyway, that's the intro. And then I do the standard bass run that goes into it. Now, I'll say, go back and search in Google or whatever and listen to Elizabeth Cotten's version of this. There's many other versions as well, but hers is a great one to listen to. I actually really do love Chet Atkins' version too. He kind of spruces it up and makes it sound like a little pop tune and does a key modulation and all this kind of stuff. But it's really nice, and some of the way I do it is influenced by Chet Atkins' version of it for sure. So this is the G chord, so I'm in C, C, G, just G7, staying on G, back to C, E. I'm hitting that third fret of the B string again for that 7th, F. Now the thing about Freight Train is I feel like you don't really get your money's worth if you just play it exactly the same way every time. One of the nice things about Freight Train is it's really custom made for learning to do a little bit of improvising, and I would say improvising both in terms of melody. So instead of doing, maybe you do, just different, see if you can pick out little different melodies, or so that's melodic sort of improvisation, and then there's also the rhythmic improvisation. You might go, okay, that's playing it straight. Now a little rhythmic improvisation. So let me just say one more thing about the improvisation there, is that you want to stay as disciplined as you can about the bass side of things. At this point, you don't want to be changing the way the bass, that's kind of like your foundation that everything sits on. So that's like your rhythm section. You don't want that to be all over the place. So as you improvise, keep the improvisation on the high strings, and then this always stays there. And that's really that's the key to that whole independent thumb thing. It's not so much, it's really they call it independent thumb. It's really the fingers that are going to be independent. The thumb you want to just keep churning away, keep sticking with those quarter notes. And the more reliable those are and right on the note makes the little improvisations that you do with higher strings a lot more noticeable. The other thing that I would say is that subtle changes, subtle differences really make a huge difference in improvisation. Big, broad changes tend not to. Adding a little bit of contrast, like I said before, a little bit of on the beat, then off the beat, or off the beat, then on the beat, or a little melodic change that's just maybe one note that's different. So maybe on the first time through I'll go, and then I'll go through the rest of it, and then maybe the next time I'll go. It's just a little different, It just catches the ear. You don't need to make it dramatically different. So let me mention something here that Chet Atkins does that I think is really cool. And I kind of tried to do it on the version I posted the other day, although I actually messed it up. Chet Atkins does this. I love that little change. It's a simple little song, and I think that the reason it's so good for learning to fingerpick and to improvise and to make your thumb and your fingers independent is that it is so simple and there's so much room there for trying little different things. I would also think that you could try things like, move up to that G earlier. Go to the C, or then maybe for the E you'd go, then move into the F. All kind of things you can do. Of course, since I'm capoed at 5, it gets kind of crowded up there. There's all kind of things you can do with this.